Hello and welcome to this LEGO theme park disaster series, where today it's a bit more of the behind the scenes of the UCS LEGO Death Star live stream. Now, the other upload, it was all to do with camera placement, light placement, and was it working? And now we are at the stage of nearly having to get that thing placed somewhere, and I want to see if it's going to fit up on the shelf, but we're going to do that live, which means in the next 45 minutes I've got to make some space on the shelf up top to see if this will actually fit. So, with that being said, let's get to it. So this is going to be a bit of a video diary. This is now going to cover a couple of different live streams just as a test, I think, because how this in my head is going to work is we're going to have to take the AT-AT down. The AT-AT is going to wait on this table. We're going to get that in the correct position, which is going to go where I've been building it. We'll get the laptop back to where that's been going. The lights are working absolutely fine. I've just got to clear the minifigs out the way, and all we're going to do basically in the live stream is test to see if it will fit as it is right now, because we are starting to bring the curve back in. Now I know we have this long sticky out pointy laser beam coming somewhere, but I want to eyeball it and see roughly where it's going to be. Then we can start to work out how big it is, because if it doesn't fit in this diary, we can then kind of figure out where else potentially it could go. If it does fit, that would be amazing, but then that has a knock-on effect to what we're going to be doing with the AT-AT and the other little bits and pieces, because that will end up going here. And as we know, well, I say as we know, depending on how I've uploaded it, because it is a video running parallel to this, the medieval bits and pieces are in the process of going underneath, but I can't touch anything underneath the table until I've swapped some bits and pieces over with Jay. So we're going to just put the AT-AT on here. It should fit and stay there absolutely fine. And then at the end of the live stream, more than likely what will happen is that will be back in the correct bit. I will add in the live footage of it going up on there in case anything goes wrong, as I know you lot love that kind of thing. And also I'll have the camera placed somewhere else so you get a slightly different angle of everything, because I think the laptop actually might work all right up on that box. So potentially if I put the AT-AT on the table and leave the box there and put the laptop on there, we then should see all of that, because I'm going to have to jump up onto this table to get it on. So I'm just going to make sure that basically it's all good to go. So we've got a little bit to move now, and obviously this is all the prep work that is needed for the live streams. Now we've got our building bag for spare pieces. We've only got a couple of spare stickers left as well, which is great, so they'll be ticking over. All of this is literally, all the cabling and wiring is off camera at the moment. It's looking neat and tidy enough. The instruction booklet is okay there. Darth Vader has gone flying, so we need, at the moment, the actual Death Star, moving it just across the table isn't too bad. The issue is going to be how am I going to get to here? I don't know, and I'll see if it's going to hit, because it might just hit and not work at all. And then obviously, like I said, the end of this video will be a different day, and it'll be the aftermath of the live, what went wrong, and then I've got to put the AT-AT back. So at least you can see just the amount of work that's needed for a 2-hour live stream. And again, if this doesn't fit where it's going to go, we want it in a good place. So we'll have to start thinking of bits and pieces and other bits like that. But I do actually need to finish off the AT-AT, so that will be a live stream at some point. But you can see, he says, it's sturdy-ish enough. It does freak me out a little bit. There we go, it does freak me out ever so slightly with the curvature bits on there, but we've been lucky so far because we are literally on the edge of that table just here, so we're on it, and it missed the house, which is great. So I haven't had to move this at all. That's just been there the whole time. And then I thought, well, this bit's going to hit the shelf, And for something that couldn't have been any closer if it tried to be, been very, very lucky. So now it's all going to be down to when that laser is going to get put in. But I wasn't too concerned about this. Now the reason why I'm not moving this on the live stream is I can beep out my swearing, because this is a right royal pain in the ass to move. And I think it's all going to fall apart. But I didn't want to take it off and not do it live, because it would just be me. It would just be me messing around, and people are joining in on the chats. I think people would like to see this be moved live. But I think with the amount of minifigures and things that I needed to move, I think it might be better off just focusing on the one thing. Thinking now. I'm thinking. I think the ATST needs to move as well, because it's gonna go smack in the middle of those. No, it should be alright. It's gonna go smack in the middle of those 3 base plates. So we'll clear the 3 base plates. I'll pull those 3 base plates out as well. I think that is in the middle. So we are 1, 2, 3. A little bit 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So we will see. And obviously the other thing I need to get together is we've got bag 54, which for some reason was in a different bag, which is a little bit weird and wonderful. The laptop's charged, so it will be good to unplug, plonk on here, face that way. Do I move this live and still have you recording? And then I can edit the footage together in both, or not? No, I think I will move. I'm going to be sensible, and I'm going to move it now. Only because there might be 1 or 2 things I need to do, and I am looking for the screwdriver. If you know, you know, because I've got to lock the legs into place. So there's, I don't know which way to take it from. So you can maybe I'll go this way. Maybe we'll go that way and just see. I think you can see. I'm on my tiptoes. There's no correct way to take this from. And obviously if the head falls off, it could have smashed into the thing, but it didn't. Right, as long as this doesn't fall over. I think we're okay. So be a bit careful with this table, because it's obviously just resting over. It's sturdy enough, and it is a big thing. So if you put that beside that box, you know how big this box is. It's a big thing. But on a positive, if I could tidy this up a little bit, because I've got its hip and other little bits and pieces, which I think I will probably do on the live. Could potentially do a comparison video. Potentially. Right, so this, I've made it very clear that I am not moving any of the Marvel stuff, any of the Ninjago stuff, anything like that. Whereas obviously this, I've got no choice. Still got brick dust. Right, so that is the 3. That's the 3 base plates. That is those 3 base plates with plenty of minifigures on. And that is that. And I think what I might do is get my... I have to have a think of what I need to do. I need to replenish my supplies from the live stream yesterday. But we are... Yeah, I've just taken 3 base plates off. But I don't I don't think it's perfectly 3 base plates in the middle. So there might be an issue with the X-Wing. But the feet, it should be okay. So it would just be in front. It is so big, so that would have to come off. I don't want to take it off unless I don't need to. I think I popped that on. I can't remember how I took that on and off. So, well, I think I'll figure that out in the live stream. I just want to make sure I've got all the other bases covered. But you're going to be going to, in a minute, the live stream footage of me putting it up there, and then you can let me know in the comment section what you think. Obviously, this is a couple of weeks behind the live stream, depending on obviously how quickly I upload all of the other videos. There's going to be more of this style of stuff coming, and then obviously it's more of a like a video diary behind the scenes of live prep stuff, and then trying to make really nice displays, because I think that would look better up top and this would look better on the yellow on the stand, which then means we have an option of a half and half display, which I think I've already said, for Hoth and anything else. Of course, the other thing is this could actually go on that table over there where the wheel is, and then it keeps this free for other little bits and pieces. But obviously I can't do any of that yet. We can't make any temporary dioramas or anything. This is literally solely for this to see if it will work, and it gives us that option. Because if it does, fantastic. If it doesn't, then well, that still has to move, and it's going to be moved at the very, very last minute, because I can see it all bottlenecking up, but it doesn't matter. And then I can put those pieces down. We can do a medieval rejig, because that's where it's all going. Put those base plates down, it's done. Won't be moving for a long time to come. I am intrigued to how big the Star Trek ship's going to be. That is my other thing. How big is that going to be? Because I'd like it to be a UCS Star Wars size, so it's all in that sort of thing. And I think that might look quite cool as a bit of a Easter egg, and potentially that would go on that table there. If not, it could go directly underneath. So we've got all of the Star Wars, and we've got a bit of a space bit, which I still want to put the space calf and all that kind of thing in, and I still want to put the space roller coaster and things with it. So there's plenty of stuff that I can do that won't cost me any money, which is great. But then at the same time, it's just making sure that I've got all those pieces of the puzzle. And it starts with getting these little bits and pieces neat and tidy. So I'm going to catch up with you in the live, which starts for me in literally no time at all. So I just need to wake up very, very quickly, change my hoodie, because I think I wore this one. Actually, you know what? I don't really care. I was wearing this one yesterday. It doesn't smell, so it's fine. And then we can just tuck in and see. But before you go to the next segment, will that fit up there? But I just need to see if it'll fit, and then I can just carry on with it. Woohoo! Okay, here we go. I don't know. I'm slightly concerned it won't. Oh, that's outrageous. It might work. I don't know. I don't know about that laser. Balls. I'm looking at the box and looking at you and looking at that. I can't believe that works. That's going to fit with the curve. As long as the other side curves just as much, which you would think it's parallel, because I can shimmy that over ever so slightly. Because when I tried it as a test run with the 3 base plates by 3 base plates, there was not a chance that would work. But we're not at its highest yet. That is the only concerning thing, because we've got another possibly 2 rooms to add. But the dish is set in. So how long is the green length? Am I going to get stung by the green length or not? I'm shocked that fits on there. Happy and now more confused than anything else. And like I said, you're on this is on you, and that is what that is looking like up at the top. We've got to get you back down. So how I'm going to edit all of this together, I'm not 100% sure. So it's on. Now it's got to come back off, and then we've got to carry on. I didn't think I'd be able to reach. So there's no problem with the depth on that shelf. So here is the aftermath of that part of the live. So you've just seen exactly what happened with regards to that, and I honestly do have more questions than answers. So you are going to be part of a video diary, like I've said. We are going to try and achieve something now though. So this is the day before I'm going to go live again. Because obviously, as you heard, well, I don't know if you did hear in the live, depending on when I cut it off, we've got the laser to build, which is 3 more bags. Depending on the angle of the beam will then very much depend on where it's going to go, because if obviously that does go there, it's going to give us options for displays around the side, because we could potentially just keep the X-Wing on the wall, put the smaller Falcon on the wall, because obviously it's symboled to that. Nice enough display. These questions for this though. So why we're sort of in a bit of a pickle and we're sort of doing a what if scenario, because obviously if this doesn't fit there, then I've got to figure out what is going to go back up on the shelf. But I do want to give myself a scenario for this obviously as well, because I think that's the best place to put this. But if it doesn't fit, I don't know if it could fit on this table. There was an idea of putting it angled against this blue wall, but it's such, there's no gap, because it's such a block, you can't see through it. It's, you know, I mean, if you think what's actually behind here is all of this, and it's just basically like a wall. I think it would stick over too much anyway. So if it doesn't fit up there, it can't really, I mean, I don't know if it can go here. So I don't know. So the focus point now is just working out the height for the AT-AT. That's what I'm going to do now, because we've got this little bit of space here and we've got the table. So we are going to be sort of moving little bits and pieces around. And I think, and what I'm going to have to do is put the AT-AT basically stood here, move that onto there, and then we can just put the AT-AT over, because I don't know if it would look quite nice, slightly angled, because obviously you can see through it, it doesn't take up that much space. It's going to fit on here, but I just don't know how many studs back it's going to go. And then it does give us the option of, do we just have 6 base plates of Hoth, which is actually about the same base plates we had, but just as a different path, because we've got 6, 6, and then 3. So we could mix and match the different bits and pieces up. Of course, Falcon could go over here. You know, there's other bits that could potentially go. Obviously the cheese would look great on something like that, as long as I could get the table back underneath and on, because of what's going on that side. But this is very much an upload of, as this has been built, what if and where could the things go. Obviously then it's going to be finished, and when it does get finished, we will then start the next chapter and actually put all of these in places. So this is basically going to be a behind the scenes of planning, and then we'll do the video of it all going into situ. And then if I can obviously get all the bits and pieces up top, I still don't want to move that castle yet, because I'm still not in a scenario to be able, I can, but I just want to put it straight on where it needs to go. I don't want to put it down to then pull it onto this table to then put it back down again. It's just sort of how the stars have aligned. They haven't been in my favour now, and obviously it's all project Star Wars at the moment. So a couple of stages. I'm going to pick this up. I am thinking on the live to actually finish this and repair it, because you can see obviously the sides are a little bit fruity. It's actually attacking there we go, attacking the Death Star. So The hips and things you can see are off. I do like this though. And I think what I'd do is maybe put, I don't know whether I like the blue. I think I really like the blueprint design, but I don't know whether to have it covered on the back and then just leave it open on the front. Obviously we can add in all the display for the figures and things. There's obviously quite a lot going on with this, and it's a big thing, but it's just going to be interesting to see where it's going to go on that roof bit. And then yeah, this is going to go over to here, and then we'll go from there. So I've got to move the box. So I've got to move all of this and then basically move it all back before the live starts. And then just make up scenarios in my head of what potentially could go where with different bits and pieces. And obviously we are now, if you want like a timestamp to when this video is happening, we are the day after the announcement, which I found very, very random, of the Back to the Future Speed Champions car, which they made a huge deal of on the LEGO website. And this has come out well before anything to do with the Star Trek. And again, there is an option, depending on how big the Star Trek thing is, could we have End of Star Wars and just have the Star Trek in? Or does it just wrap around all as Star Wars? But I was starting to be naughty and actually rechecked the other block of cheese that I had before this one, the one with the big blue engines on the back, the Star Destroyer, not the Super Star Destroyer, the Star Destroyer, which is huge. And some of them are very expensive. The ones that are built aren't that expensive, but some people kept them in the box. And I was remembering myself, I can't move it, so what's the point? It's just too fragile. So I don't think I'd ever get that again or build it again. Falcon on the other hand, that's a different story. Because I was to sell one or two bits and pieces, which obviously are going to be going. Who knows? Who knows, who knows, who knows? So, and the Bricklink stuff has finished, and they are going to be charging soon, I do believe, for the current wave. And that current wave is, I got one set from that, so that potentially would be my next build, and then it'd be Ninjago for Christmas. And of course, if I got a small Winter Village set, I could do that just in a day, just as a single build. So I think I've got enough sets to keep me going for the rest of this year, I think. Right, this is super, super sturdy, but of course I have put just stuff around it. But you can see what I mean about it being sturdy, but you can also see what I mean about it being so long, because it is a big thing. But I have moved that quite a lot, to be fair. So, credit where credit's due, the designer for this one, amazing job. Just with how sturdy it is. Obviously it looks very, very effective, and you've got the little micro scale thing. Obviously it came with the figure, which I need to get back out the cantina and have a bit of a play around with. Now obviously I'm not going to move everything, because it's kind of pointless, because I still have to kind of figure out what I'm going to do with the construction stuff, and the construction things that's happening underneath isn't going to be happening anymore with that nature trail, because that's all, obviously that's all fallen through. So I think maybe we might just have to have this table to my left for now as the under construction diorama, and there'll be a new land coming soon, or a new model or something coming soon. So I don't think I've ever tried to put the AT-AT anywhere else. It was just literally plonk it up on the shelf and see what's what. So how far back, what angle can this go, and does it stupid, and how does it look? So oh okay, yeah, no problem at all. It looks very menacing. Then you can see again, if you have the Lego City stuff, or you've got the carousel, or you've got the He-Man castle, or a full-size light, or a full-size castle, this thing is enormous. But I think it would look quite nice if it was angled over these four. step that way, and then maybe have the smaller stuff at the back. So rather than moving all of these, if we use, there's the line, so if I put the pink toothbrush, my cleaning toothbrush, not for my teeth, for the Lego there, that is the line of the join for those base plates. And will it, I think we might get half a base plate back. But yeah, I think I would prefer it angled than straight, I think, but you're there-ish. So if I keep it angled for now, I think, oh, hang on, that's ideal. I'm touching the toothbrush. Yeah, so I can do that. So that's basically what I was thinking of doing. Obviously all on white. To be fair, you can see all the space you've got around it, put a path straight through, and then put some more bits and pieces at the back. Or it goes side on. The only problem is obviously doing it side on is then the camera's not really going to pick up the head or anything, and it's going to kind of interfere maybe in the next bit. You do see the bum a little bit more. So it's going to be one or the other. I don't, actually we have got three options, haven't we? Because it could very much potentially go that way if it would fit, because the bum, yeah, that's the worst way to go. That takes up, yeah, that's actually overhanging. That's actually overhanging that. So that's what it looks like from the front, and it is literally touching the back that way. So the feet aren't as far back. So yeah, I think maybe angled rather than completely side on. On this side, on the white base plates, I think that would look quite nice, because if we had that angled that way, for example, depending on what the ATST looks like as well, this one, that could be forward. So it would do that way. It just looks like one's going one way, one's going the other. You get some shapes. So don't forget, I'm creating a path around it. So obviously if it's going to battle, it would be going straight ahead. Downfall of it being side on is obviously you can see the head. You've got to have to be clever with what goes here. But I don't think it's too bad like that. I don't think it's going to cover too much up, but it would be here. Or actually, it could spin and it'd be facing that way, so the head is over that table. And because this is going to be lower, it shouldn't matter, because that way, this whole thing, which is literally, that's huge, that head. God, if I angled it, I'd hit it with a table and I'd put it over here. So yeah, what would that look like? See, or what if I'm doing all of this, and if this doesn't fit, then back to the drawing board on this, because obviously there's the UCS version of this as well, which I think those two, I think the UCS version would look nice with this, but at the same time that walker works fine. But yeah. So after all of the loose panels fell off, let's be honest, nothing yet has fallen back off this. Ah, jinxed it. So that's his bum or his belly that's just fallen off. But yeah, just random stuff like that decides to. I didn't have my finger anywhere near that. I don't know if that's around the hip. Might be. So yeah, there is options of it going. You can see it's tipping. It's tipping backwards, so I've got to be careful. It's got the options of either walking the head across, so it'll be on the diagonal that way, so you just see more of its bum. So having it on lower down, it gives us a lot more options than it being on the shelf with regards to the placement of this, because I can't do this, and I can't do anything like what I'm doing with this, with that, because obviously that is literally just a frisbee, pizza, slice of cake, anything that you can imagine food related. But it did look nice up there, but I just don't know if it will work with the laser. That is the only thing. I don't know. But what I will do is we'll put all this back safe and sound before something goes wrong, because you know, if this drops, it would suck. And I haven't actually opened the last few bags of this yet, because I gave up with all the pieces falling off. So I think no matter what happens, I am gonna get this finished. I've got to get the Bowser finished with his arms. So the arms is just a live. This would possibly be a longer live, just over a weekend, just to get this done. So I could get this placed in the live as well, and obviously we could do what we're doing now is behind the scenes as well. And then yeah, there's going to be a lot of work with the Ninjago, because I've got all the comparison videos to do, because I will do a full comparison, a full side by side of what each one looks like beside each other, and what it looks like in the long row as well. And I need a haircut, I know I do. So just keep my head warm at the moment, because the temperature has dropped. But yes, I do need to sort myself out with that, because starting to look a little bit more silly. Right, back up we go with this. Fantastic. I did shimmy this, if I remember, as far over as it would go, so I can elbow it. I think that's okay. Well, I could actually. I brought it forward. It'll give me a little bit more space around the laptop, which is always good. Right. There's no point trying to put this back up on the shelf until after the live stream, because obviously it's see, everything's on by one stud. So if you understand what I'm going on about in the live and say, no, it's quite nice that the other one isn't like this. This is why, because you literally that seems sturdy-ish enough. I need to get the special tool that I've got with the bag that I've not yet done. And I'll do that and sort of rebend his knees a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. And the problem is that we could make this look amazing, and it's not going to work. I would quite like to have the white back up on here, because it's just a nice vibrant colour. Obviously all the greens and stuff are going to get back down at the bottom, so that would just be a simple swap. 6 base plates on that. Would I then keep 6 base plates of green for the Ewok place, whatever it is they land on? I keep thinking it's Endor, but it's not. It's the other one. So you could have a bit of a green area. I don't know, because I'm assuming what I would do is put all the black base plates up at the top, which you wouldn't really see, but they would be there, and potentially put the black ones underneath maybe the Falcon and Star Trek ship, because they're always in space. The Falcon does land in different places. Razor Quest could be on green if I got the Razor Quest, but I don't think I will. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of different scenarios to do. So, same principle. What's going to happen now is I can't really do anything in here. I can't start a separate video. I can't do anything, which is a little bit annoying because I have got time now to do stuff. But obviously I'm going to be building this up on the live. So I will just prep and plan some stuff behind the scenes. Figure out, just eyeball that a little bit more. All of that can just stay where it is for now. And if it has to move, we will move it before we go live or move it after, depending on what happens with this. Because that's going to be the other problem. If this doesn't fit on the shelf, the castle wall has to move, because I then have to put it over there to see what it's like for space. And obviously that's all going to happen before it finishes. So that's going to be a towards the end of the week problem. Or I grab some food and we just move it in anticipation. I don't think there's going to be any right way of doing it, because that has to move regardless. And if this fits on that shelf, I have to move that straight into position. So we have to get the AT-AT placed, and of course we'll just do it roughly, and then there'll be a separate video of it going in perfectly. Or all these things to think of. So maybe I will grab a bite to eat, put the boxes back out the way, pull these boxes back out, just clear a little bit of space. I do not want to get this damaged whatsoever. That goes underneath, and then we play the same game again. How far back could this go? Because there is yeah, we're going to have to. That's what we're going to do, because we're going to have a bit of a problem with regards to the sharpness of this roof, with regards to the angle of the laser, because even if it's on the ground level, I want it to go as far that way as possible, but I don't know how much of the blue is going to cover. Because if it covers from where it is over, I've then got a bad feeling that this won't fit behind it. Because obviously I want to get this on a stand and get it up against the yellow wall. So if this blocked off, like from that screw across for 3 base plates, then potentially, with a little bit of measuring, it could just go there. And then we've still got the option of what do we do with that AT-AT. I think it's going to have to go back up there, but potentially. But I don't know what actually would fit up there. I don't know if the UCS Falcon, for example, would fit on that shelf upright. I don't know. It might, because it's not as wide. So do you have the Falcon tall with all the ships around it, and you just leave space for it that way? So yeah, I think that's the plan of attack. So you need a new battery change anyway, so you need your battery changing. And then we'll just carry on, and then basically carry on getting prepped for the next live. Right, so all I've done is literally change the battery, and we're just going to carry on. I think I will grab some food later on, and I have been honking in that short period of time of me swapping that battery over. Have I got any more footage from Legoland Windsor? Because if I remember rightly, the trip down memory lane video that I did doesn't include the Death Star in a video. I've got it in photos, but I don't think I had it in a video. But did I film anything on my phone, or did I just take pictures? So I want to, at some point while this project is going on, revisit the trip down memory lane from, I've got footage from 2012, potentially slightly older than that as well, but I can't quite remember when that attraction closed down. Yes, yeah, it's going to hit us right in the feels when we start to take a look at all of those bits and pieces, and yeah, we will see. So all I know is I have a few layers on, and it is very, very cold this evening. Very, very cold indeed. So that is the only problem, doing it after you get back in from work. It's a bit fresh, a bit on the fresh side. So we need to move that basically to see it will fit. Now I put the box up there, and probably the easiest thing maybe is just to move it there and move it back, a bit like we did with a bit like what we've already done. So I just want to basically move it to a place where it's not going to get damaged, But I do have to be careful, because obviously what I don't want to do, because these are all the bags ready for the continuation of the Death Star, is what I don't want to do is knock this over. And because this, I keep saying it, it's so big, I don't know if it'll fit on the shelf. Let's see. Go down there. The things we do, eh? The things we do. Ah, well, there we go. That makes life a lot easier. Fits on the shelf, no problem whatsoever. So, if the Death Star fits there, that would look pretty smart. Is it going to fit though? Is it going to fit? Right, backup plan in motion. Which means I think this big crane is probably going to have to move. Right, we've got a bit of cabling. This is one piece, isn't it? Yes. Yes, it is. Because it's just lived there since it's come in. I've actually forgotten what bits move. Because to be fair, if I could leave I can't leave it on that table because the box can't live there because I need to get the pieces off. Otherwise I could have just left it there. But then when all this materialised, we could have gone from it. I'm trying to figure out the best way to pick this up, and the last two places I've tried to pick it up from, I ripped the tops off. So let's put you there so you're not looking at my noggin. Oh, come on. Yeah, so it'll be displayed open. It'll be displayed open again. Just got to get my fingers underneath to pick it up. I do not want this to go wrong. I'm not gonna lie, because that would suck. All right, got it. Pinned it together. It's on the move. On the move. On the move. On the move. Contact, and we're down. Happy days. There we go. So yeah, because this thing, shut or open, does look very, very good. But obviously, I had it all open so we could see everything. But we now have got the opportunity to have it closed and on display somewhere else. Because, again, we're going to have to start thinking of all of this. Because, see, when it's open, all of it spins around and you don't see the back. But with it shut, you do obviously get more of a shape with it. But obviously you don't see that bit. So you do lose a little bit, but I don't know. Until it goes down, I don't know which way I'd have it. I might actually have it like that and just have it closed. Maybe have the next one closed with the bits and pieces in. I don't know. Right, that's a different story. As soon as those bits and pieces go round. Like I said, I'm filming two things parallel until an exchange has been done. So dodgy dealings will be going on. Obviously, the lifting hasn't finished because we have to lift this and put it over. Now, clearly, I don't think the laser's going to be past. Well, I'm hoping it's only going to be, what I say, halfway maximum. So we're gonna lose a base plate potentially in the corner, and then it's 3 base plates at its widest, but potentially it would still, the bit behind it might still fit. Right, so your angle, so you can kind of see. Now I've moved it up and around okay so far, but obviously something will end up going wrong. But there's definitely a lot more weight on the left hand side than the right. So it has got the opportunity of going there, And obviously we're going to have the same problem as what we've got with the bit at the top, but the difference is obviously I can pull it away from the roof, which is then going to cause issues because it's just going to block more of that over. And I mean, there's, so can I just leave you there so you can, yeah, I think so, because obviously we know how big this thing is, but I don't know at the moment what that extends like. So if this was to do that, for example, because that's as far round as I can twist it, and that's assuming this just goes up and round, does that give me the length I need? But then doing that, you've blocked off all of that at the back, but you can see it clear. So I don't know. I think that's going to be that's pretty much a waste of space doing it that way. But then it saves the space going that way. I don't know if I'm going to have to sacrifice. I don't know if I'm going to have to sacrifice a base plate or not, because potentially on camera that might look quite smart just here. And I think, well, the block of cheese would fit on the stand behind it. But again, if this was to go flush at the moment, that is how far it could go over. And that's before we hit the roof, but it's going to hit the laser. But I am closer to the roof here than I am up at the top. But obviously this could come back over, because we are over two and a bit base plates. So obviously the third base plate would be here. So I'm assuming with what that's coming out, I don't know. It's very, very hard to tell, because I think that's in line with the one base plate. There's two. That's got to be about 2.5. So is the laser like half a base plate? And it obviously points up. There's potential that these bits would work, but that bit I think will ping. But what do I do? Do I, for the sake of a whole display, do I take off that one piece? So it's just those bits and we don't have it firing, and it's in the process of building up firing. And then, because I think it will fit in both positions if it's just those. But it very, very much depends on if it's how much of an angle it's going to hit the roof. So you can see here, that's not going to be so much of a problem because it can move. But with it being there, it's going to be, you still lose the corner of the base plate. You're going to lose another base plate up at the top and a base plate behind. So technically it takes up 3 base plates of space, but I'm also losing 3 base plates of display space with it being there, especially this bit at the top, because you're not going to see anything behind that. You could potentially sneak something in there, and you could sneak something in there, but it's going to be a little bit awkward. I think now we might as well just do, as it's a behind the scenes video, how far is it away from that roof up at the top? Let's put it back up on that shelf. I've moved it once with you and it was okay, so let's just see if we can do it again. I'm not moving it for the sake of moving it, because I really would like it up where that box is. It's obviously not going to fit underneath the shelf, nowhere near is it going to fit underneath the shelf. But it is a very, very surprising steep curve. So you can see that there's literally no space up by that roof. So what does this look like in the middle? Because that is to the front of the shelf. And you can clearly see that there's more space there. But I think it can, if this starts to curve, I think it could go that way. So I'm not 100% sure. Well, it is in the middle, so it's already off center, but obviously it sticks out more that way and must stick out more. It must stick out more that way going by the box. So the question is, from that bit there to here, will it fit? Obviously, it's going to be a real big pain in the backside because I'm going to do the 3 bags, as you know. Then we're basically going to do what I've just done again with the laser in it on the live, and you're going to see that. That's basically where I'm going to catch back up with you. And then you're going to have to see where it starts curving, because the problem is, and I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, is that's obviously curving for the laser beam, but the highest point of that is actually lower than the highest point of that, or actually a couple of studs higher at this end. So this room and all the roof and everything, obviously how it's all designed and done, but it's got to start curving soon. And if it can start curving steep, that would be amazing, because if it doesn't, it's not going to work. But like I said, this is right at the front on this shelf. We would put the black base plates down to make it look neat and tidy. This would potentially just stay there. I'd bring it over, but it would just stay. It would just stay on the wall, maybe. And then we would potentially put another one on the other side. Not 100% sure what to do around it vehicle wise. That's going to be the other thing, because it's its own display and I haven't got any dioramas. This would potentially be a good place, I don't know, to put, maybe do you put an odd helmet? Do you put the trench run? Do I build up this and put this here? Is there anything else? Because obviously we're doing a full-blown path like this. So the path would be on the black. So obviously I'd do grey and white or black and white on black. Add loads of minifigures around it. Got to figure out what we're going to do as a museum piece across the bottom. And obviously we know what we're going to be doing with the Hoth thing, because it would potentially go there. And it's just going to be a case of just moving the tiles around. I don't know what else we can do. I don't know if we just try and incorporate all the ships just dangling off, and then that's it. So it's just more of a ceiling display, and we just got a simple path walking through one side and the other. Do we do a museum with like minifigs? Is there any smaller vehicle that could be used? Because there's, instead of getting the bigger Falcon on the wall, I could potentially get the Dio Falcon, which everybody's saying will fit in this. So the diorama Falcon apparently does fit in here, but then would that look quite nice just there? Obviously it's not in the same scale as the X-Wing, but do we just have different things on different scales, and it's just everything that was incorporated in? I think the trench run's important as a diorama out of all of them, just that one, because obviously it's blowing up the Death Star. But to actually fill it up as a display, if it went on here, I don't know what to do. Whereas if it went down there, it's its own display, but then I've still got to try and incorporate it in. I want to make it look nice. I do want to make this look smart. I don't know if I could. The only thing I'm thinking of is the space roller coaster that I've got. Change it to the drop tower. So one end of this shelf is part of the theme park. So you've got a nice museum bit at the top. You've got all the dioramas, create all the path going around so they can see all the bits and pieces. And at the far end, probably that end, would maybe be the drop tower roller coaster, where it's the space, which is retiring this year. I've got it as a big roller coaster at the moment, but there is an option for that. But again, the problem is how tall is that going to be? and I don't know off the top of my head. So rather than sharing the screen with you and trying to be all fancy, we'll just keep it super raw, because I think you guys and girls all know what the roller coaster is. It's the 3-in-1. If I just type in roller coaster, right, space roller coaster, currently $94.99. It's in a massive sale everywhere else. It's that thing just there. So the 3-in-1, but it's got the UFO and there is a drop tower. There's 874 pieces. I don't know. Features, specifications. Let's have a look. Right, 3 different rides can be built. Space fans can build 3 different amusement park rides. Space roller coaster, too big. We've got a drop tower and a carousel. Measuring the display item, measuring at 10.5 inches, which is 27 or 10.5 inches high. That's the space roller coaster, can be displayed that way. It only gives us the height of the main build. It doesn't give us the height of this. So on the live, I will check this out, and then I'll add the footage on the live stream with the build of the laser and obviously it going up, and I'll do a behind the scenes filming again. The UFO won't work, but that is on like 3 or 4 pieces, so it's quite tall. So I don't know if I can just make it shorter and fit it basically side on to the back, because if it was pinned to that back wall, it would be tiny. So I don't know if it would go here. I really don't know. Because I don't think it will, I don't know. I don't think and I don't know. That's the sum of that. So we know where we're at with regards to this. I am itching just to build this off the live stream, but it's not fair, and I can't build it on a live stream until tomorrow because it's now too late today, and it's cold and it's horrible and everything else like that, and I'm going to need about 2 hours. So that'll be the plan of attack for tomorrow, and I will catch back up with you after the live stream. Hopefully we'll have a bit of a better understanding of what's what. So we are 10 minutes away from going live, and you are not going to believe, well, you will, I've just moved the Death Star off that shelf, and that bit decides to go flying, and it has ripped everything off for no reason. We've got gaps there, we've got gaps at the top, we've got gaps at the side. I nearly lost the whole thing for no reason. No reason at all. So this bit now isn't even attached. It's all broken on the inside. I did nothing different than when I put it on. And I have 9 minutes until I go live. So obviously now I'm gonna have to repair the thing on the live, and I will be miffed if I can't get the next 3 bags done. I know you're filthy as well, but the first time I don't bother to film this thing being moved, it just disintegrates on itself. I don't know if I pushed in instead of sort of just cupped it or what, but I can't quite figure out how it's all going to drop back into place. So I will add the repair footage as snippets now from the live, rather than filming it on this camera as well. And then I've got to try and make sure it's strong enough, because I need to pick it back up to put it back on the shelf. Yeah. So when I say I have problems, that bit's not supposed to be coming out. So I am slightly miffed and slightly concerned at the moment, but I just hope that we can do a bit of a repair job from this corner and get all of these pieces speaking again, because I have bits that aren't pushed into bits, and I'm pretty sure that that's supposed to be up in there. Then that's supposed to be taking the weight for something along that bit. Honestly, I am not too impressed. Not too impressed at the moment. I can't believe, all I did was take it off the shelf and the whole side, this whole side came off, and it's pushed every single level up. So when I say it's not attached, it's not attached at all. So it's a bit of a dramatic start to the live stream, and I was really looking forward to just getting this laser beam on, and I don't know where this is actually supposed to sit, because that's not correct, I don't think, because it's also broken around the big bit of space as well, which is not ideal. And I've got to be careful because I've made space. I have to take the layers off on the table behind. I put the box up on the shelf, so I can't turn it that much. Literally minutes before we went live, it's all decided to fall apart. However, as per normal, hello and welcome, fixed, because this has to be 100% right, because the whole point of this live stream is to get it back up on the shelf where it came from, and the fact it's now disintegrating already doesn't fill me with joy, to be honest. So the other problem that we have is all of this bit up here has all come out, so I've got to push that bit, I think, back in. I don't know if you can, hopefully you can see. So that isn't attached anymore, and I don't know why it's not. I can't figure out which way it needs to go. So you're looking at it from the front, I'll look at it from the back, and we'll basically hope for the best, but I don't know, because it's all come off. There we go. It's all come off at the back at the bottom, so that's all pushed back down now. I don't understand why this is bowed as much as it has, because this whole bit here has completely ripped itself to pieces, which is fantastic. And we're stuck on something I don't think we should be stuck on. Don't get it. I do not get it. I do not understand. We are in line all the way through. I know this is a very depressing start to a live stream. Normally, we've all been nice, good, positive. Nothing's pinged off, I don't believe. I am doubting that now, though, to be quite honest. Because I can't, I'm going to have to get the instruction book at the ready, because that is not right. But the other thing is all of this is all, that's the X-wing just come off the screw. All of this isn't attached either. So, because it's just like the modular that you get in the January modulars, and right, so that's pushed back in. That's all clipped back on at the top. We're all good at the back. You can hear it pop it. Something's just happened. I think I've just done a thing and pushed it back into space. Who is chit-chatting? No, this set's fantastic, but what has just happened is I've just gone to pick it up off the shelf, and it's decided to rip the whole bottom layer off. But at least you guys can see it clearly. I'm just trying to fix it from the back, and then hope for the best, because it is a monstrosity of a thing. But I am hoping that whatever has literally just fallen back into, I couldn't even tell you what just went ping. You would have seen it. I didn't. This one little piece just pushed everything up and off. And this is only going to take a couple more minutes, and I'll just double check to make sure it's all safe. Then we can just get the laser on and we can just crack on, because the build itself has been incredible. But I do not know. I think I do know. So on the back, you've got the play feature for the trash compactor. Ooh. The trash compactor completely closes, but I need to get my finger. I might actually now, he says, be able to do it, because I need to get that up and over and then get my finger. There we go. I'm just being thick. It's a push-on panel. Absolute pleb. Absolute pleb. So, all right, let's try this with an actual brain. I was getting a little bit annoyed. Right, so that's all pushed back on. Let me get the wall. Let me get this wall back in. So I've actually got a bit of space. So the detailing on the panel on the wall is amazing, as you can see. It is really very, very good. That bit just slides back on. Let me just make sure that it works. Yeah, perfect. Right, we can just push this piece back on without breaking it. What do you reckon? Open hand? Did we do it? Are we on? Did we do a thing? I think we did. It's in? Is it in? We on? Hey! Right, so this is it then. We're at maximum length on there. We've just got to see. I don't want to move it though. I've just moved it and it fell apart. You know when you suddenly lose confidence in something? This is exactly what's just happened. Right, big moment then. Deep breath. Right, we're up. Am I going to hit the ceiling? Am I going to hit the ceiling? Sounds like I am. I am hitting the ceiling. I'm still hitting the ceiling. I do not believe that. That is outstanding. How has something worked? So, you know how thin these are? That's it. That is the space. Right, the aftermath of the last live. And we still do not know if it is going to fit. But I am glad that I did not move that table with you, because obviously I was putting the laptop on the box, which is what you're on now. Yes, just crawl underneath that table again. And we've got work to do. So we've got another live today. Today it's Saturday. So I'm going to be doing another long live today, just to try and get this built up and whatever else. And I have a bit of a problem. I am running out of space because I've got too much length. Yes, indeed. So this thing here is what has appeared, he says, as he breaks the one bit. So this bit here is what's appeared. And you can see just how long this thing is. It's, what, two base plates. This bit obviously sits on top. It's too tall for me to obviously do anything with. So I have got two options really. Because I'm using this as the backdrop, and obviously the laptop is set to my right now, but left as I'm looking. I was struggling to actually get any building progress done yesterday with regards to rhythm and pace, because I was struggling to find the bits, because it just isn't any space, because the booklet is about the same length as that as well. So as it stands right now, we're taking up 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 base plates. With the laptop it's 10. So it's 10 base plates of space already without bricks. So I need to somehow figure out how I can push this back as much as I can, which I think is just going to be a case of moving this set forward, and if I can get away with just literally tweaking the balls, so just tweaking this ship about and then just sort of pinging it into the wing, then that's what we'll do, because I really don't want to be faffing around. Sacrifice again had to be done. We've lost that. there's no chance that this will work. And obviously you've seen the footage again from last night, just how tight it is, so you understand the problems that I have, obviously, because I want to. I'm almost tempted that no matter what happens, I want the 8080 over here, just because I think it looked fantastic on the live and everything else like that. Because when you're set up on here and I'm doing the unboxing videos, obviously this is the corner you see, but then at the same time an aerial view of the cantina I think would look really smart as well. So I think no matter what happens in this live today, Sunday or Monday evening, I will commit and start doing this. So I think depending on how the live goes today and the space that we make and what we get to do, I think it should be all good. Obviously I'll keep the video diary of this going until it's basically finished now. But you might see in the video diary other bits and pieces maybe coming together, just because I'm obviously running again two things simultaneously. But it is what it is, because what I'm going to have to do over I'm going to have to do a Star Wars, a separate Star Wars upload, where we either just keep this table here, which would be a right royal pain in the backside, but the Venator goes on that table. If it doesn't fit on the other one with regards to the leg span, because I think the problem I've got is obviously I don't know, if I can spin it round and it'll fit there, and with the overhang and I can just scoot past it, then that's fine. If need be, it's going to have to go on the table that this box is on, and it's basically just going to have to stay there until some of the next few lives are built. It's either that or it gets homed down at the bottom, and then when everything at the top's been done, it then goes in where it's going to go. So we'll end up getting a stand for this at some point, and we need to work out if it is actually going to fit underneath this shelf. Will it be on the diagonal, out the way? And obviously that way I'll have basically this free for either future life stuff now or whatnot. So yeah, this is just going to be interesting, because obviously the next thing that I'm going to be doing on here is the 8080 repair, I think, depending on time frame of when things arrive. And obviously this video diary is going to be a good few weeks behind all the bits and pieces, because I'm going to be uploading all the news videos and all that kind of stuff. And obviously I'm trying to do like one live and one normal video a day-ish, or something along those lines. So yes, a lot of work. Not that anybody cares, but it is a lot of work. But this is the size of this thing. This thing's massive. All of this obviously being behind this, because there's nothing with regards to being able to see through it. And obviously I don't care what anybody says, the back to me I don't really care about at all, because you're not going to see it. Obviously if it's up at the top on the shelf, the feature of the trash compactor will never work with regards to it being squished forward and backwards, but then it is low enough for me to reach. So obviously I can use that feature if I ever wanted to. But yeah, this is the problematic bit now, because I just need to get. I just need to spin it. Just need to either spin it, slide it. Because it's going to go in that way. Obviously I don't think the wing's on a pin. I don't think I can do too much more. But like I said, it takes up a lot of space, and we do need as much space as possible, just because it is an animal to build. Because if it does not fit here whatsoever, there's a different plan, which is a plan I do not want to do. I don't know, to be honest, if that's going to give me any more space. I should do, because I know it's first world problems, but because the shelf's in the way, I can't turn it round. So we're at 3 base plates now. because it was to here. So that bit's not any further. It can, if it wants to, go basically to there. So we're well past the light. So let's get ourselves set back up again. So the instruction booklet is gonna be there. That's there. Yeah, I've got more space for the pieces. Not dramatically, just because the angle that it's at, I would have liked to have brought it round a little bit more, but that does involve me moving the loop coaster and the Harry Potter and everything else, and it has that huge knock-on effect, which I'm not going to do. I don't think if I put it up there. No. That's just silly. We don't want to be doing that. That's as far as we're at. I was going to spin it around a bit now. It's just far too long. Like I said, 3 base plates is, the light is on 1, base plate number 2. 3 base plates is the first blue one, which takes it onto that wing anyway. So this will be me then for tonight. That's the space that I've got. They're the capes that I keep forgetting to put on everybody. Oh yeah, we're going up. So in case it wasn't clear enough on the live, that is the angle. So the front has to curve as much as the back. We are very, very close to this bit as well. As you saw, this was the bit that is extremely close to this part of the ceiling, and I am just hoping that it just curves round like it did on here, where it curves, and then this plate really curves away. I don't particularly want to start taking all the white studs off and just have what I don't particularly want to just have the one stud. I'd like to have it as you can see it now, and that's basically all propped on top of each other. Obviously it'll be neat and tidy before the review, but yeah, with regards to this long length, it's tight, and I can't commit to anything until this bit's done. So we're going to go for a long live in a little bit. I'll re-add in any footage needed to add in, so you guys can keep up with the live, and then we'll catch back up on here. But obviously you saw it go up at the end. It was literally at the end of the live stream it went up, because we were talking about all sorts of different bits and pieces, and yeah, we got a good chunk of this done. But I'm ready with 66, 67, 68, 69. Got a supply of these to keep me going. And yeah, it's just going to be a case of, if it fits up, we'll discuss what the best options are for here, and then I've got to figure out, yeah, is this going to go on the table at the back? If that fits, I think we're going to go Hoth Tatooine, that underneath the yellow, that on top, and then potentially, if this is flying at the angle and they do another one, we've got space for another one just in front of it, and potentially I've then got to think of a display perspective from 25 into 26. How important are these live stream setups going to be in the future? Because where I'm stood, I don't know if I could set it up. Well, I don't know if I can have a table coming off and like basically create like an L-shaped desk, because I've got one spare table at the moment, and obviously can't really come this way because it's too tight, but we have got a little bit of space on the other side. So that is something to consider, because these tables obviously got spun around the other way for the track. and then we were able to fit in the extra Kallax and everything else. So top space, this gave us a lot more on here. But yeah, got to figure out, we don't want to be doing these live builds up here a lot more. And at the moment, now we set the lights up in the last behind the scenes live stream. Yeah, I guess that's what it was, for just for the light prep and stuff. I literally just turn them on. I don't even move them. Now they're not on the poles. So I can literally just come in here, laptop gets plugged in, and we're good to go. So I think once this is completely done, and then we're going to figure out a home for the Venator. This is all what's going to be happening this year. I've then got to figure out what I can do as a bit of a live stream setup with a building space, because this bit at the moment is absolutely perfect to doing the live streams on, but clearly when the Venator goes back, it's not going to work. So the block of cheese now is going to be causing a problem. Yeah, so I don't know whether to have something set up one way, laptop set up. We'll have to figure it out. We'll just have to figure out. I don't know if I can put the laptop on this table over here, be sat here, and your backdrop is that bit instead. And then if that's the case, where do the lights go and everything else? Because obviously this is deeper than the table. You get the drift of what the problem is. So I'm going to go live in about an hour and a half, so I'll give myself plenty of time. Got a couple of bits and pieces to sort out, got a little bit of editing to do, and then we'll tuck into this. Fingers crossed we will be as, basically I want to be as high as that, ideally, because that, I think, is the peak of the curve past the laser, and it's basically just coming over. So I don't think the set's any taller than that. If it is, then well, that's going to be another issue, and there'll be other tears and crying. But we're not close to the top of the roof because of the laser. I just hope we're not going to be, I don't know. So again, I don't know. That's what I said in the last one. I said it again in this one. I will prepare myself, we'll carry on, and then we can start to make some nice displays. So it's got two things going to happen. It's not going to fit, because it's just not going to fit. I'm going to break it. All right, here we go. I can hear things. I don't know what that means. I know we're a bit pointy here. Does that mean it's going to fit or not? I don't understand. I actually don't know, because it's not touching the roof on that side. Obviously, if I took this bit off, if I just took that bit off, you can now see how much space there is on the other side. But it's the back bit that we're looking at. So the back there, is it going to carry on curving with the rest of the roof? Because if I didn't have that bit on, basically as far over as it will go. Which is really awkward to show you. I don't know what you can see. So is that going up with the angle of the roof or not? Oh, Mr. J. Jay, he's here.
Yeah.
What timing?
I've just finished my video. Before you pop out, I just saw you were trying to move it. I thought, well, I'll quickly say hello and see if he breaks it.
So the curvature has been built. We've started the curve.
Yeah, it's kinking in.
So it's in. I've taken that bit off.
Yeah.
And that's as far over as it will go. But the back piece is curving but I don't know if the roof is going to catch up as it starts going up and up. I don't know if those cheese wedges are going to keep stepping away, because it did it on this side. It stepped away very, very quickly. Now, if it works, I will be very excited. Very erect, I think, will be the key term for this. But I don't know because it's the back that's being built, not the front. So, can you see?
Okay. Oh, that's going to be tight, isn't it? You're going to. I thought earlier it was an absolute no, but now
so
it's
close because
now it's more,
the angle. It
more
just
than
depends
maybe.
on how much it angles now. Because I think people got a little bit confused yesterday in the chat saying, well, "Why don't you just measure it from the middle?" And I'm like, "No, it's nothing to do with that. It's literally I need to know the degree angle of this set compared to the roof." So I'll bring it back down so you can see the angle of it. Oh, bear with. Not one was broken. So that is, I go solo, you might be able to see it a little bit bigger. That's the angle on the back. And what is it's obviously it's going to step in half a stud at a time.
It's how tall it gets on the step in, doesn't it? It's how much more height have you got to come?
Because that's the angle.
Okay.
And it's going to keep stepping in. So is it going to keep working at that angle? That's what I've been trying to get at. Interesting. Well, it should be absolutely fine. Apart from that laser beam, as we know. There it goes. That's that. So yeah, minus the actual laser beam, it does go on there, which is great. So that is a nice way to end. You can see from where you are the throne room. You can see all the bits and pieces just there, which is nice. So that is another live down, and we are going to be starting bag number 72 this evening. Now, there's not much to change. There's not much to do. Everything is in the right place, and by the looks of it, it is going to fit. But in case it doesn't pick it up on the webcam properly, and obviously I am adding all the live footage as well, like I keep doing, we will crawl back underneath this table yet again and have a very, very quick look at this, because it's now not going to be long until I can stop doing that, because I think this is going to work. There is a concern though. We like this kind of thing. What is that? Why is that sticking off the edge? We don't want that. I'm assuming that's sticking at the back, not out the side. So that's sticking out the side. I'm stuffed. So yeah, that's a concern, which we'll cross that bridge in the next couple of bags. So bag wise, what is left? We've got obviously another booklet. So I thought I was going to get it done this weekend, but realistically it's probably going to be Monday, which is fine. So I can do a long one today, finish it on Monday, and then film the review and all that kind of stuff of the set, do the comparison with other little bits and pieces. So I would have thought midweek there'll be another video diary of this starting again with regards to what's the next thing's going to go and that kind of thing. I've enjoyed doing like a video diary linked in with the live, so you guys and girls are going to have to let me know what you think, because I know the lives are well in advance, but at least this kind of wraps up the whole live stream series. So if you missed the 30 hours of content, at least this keeps you together. So problem that we had was that bit, because obviously that bit pings off, but that is fine with that. Now I honestly need to look for one piece still, because there's one stud, that one just there, that had one of those curved wedges, and I know I took it off, and I thought I put it down on here with the minifigures, but literally instantly I was like, I can't see it, I can't find it, I haven't got a clue what's going on. But bag 72, by the looks of it, is now just a separate build, and it looks like it's building the top part. So is this the, I don't know what bit this is going to be. So I know the bags that are in there are probably for the next booklet, because we did actually make quite a bit of progress yesterday, because we're really far into the third booklet. So there's not going to be too much to do. I'm assuming we've just got this height, this curve, that bit I'm assuming is done, and then we've got the panels that are going to go on the top. So this is what I meant by how much it steps back. So each one of those, if these were smaller and weren't the 4 studs and they were just the 2 studs, I think we would have been in trouble. But this really does sort of kick in quite quickly. So it's quite an aggressive, kind of aggressive curve, and it is obviously going with the liner of that roof. So that means if this is going to fit on there, there will be potentially over time 1 or 2 bits and pieces I will add to this shelf. It will obviously be placed properly in a separate disaster video as well. I'll do it on the live and we'll just put it down and see if it works. Then it's going to have to come off, because I've got to get the black base plates off certain areas. We've got 2 there. We've got 1 or 2 underneath the marble that we'll just literally use there. And I can actually swap them with some of the other base plates that are coming off. So yeah, that'll all sort of happen in the disaster series as per normal. But yeah, the whole shelf I think will go black to start with, but as long as the base plates are underneath this, the rest of it can just be a naked shelf, which then means we can attack this area. Now, because I'm going to be doing a super long live today, going for 5 hours today, I am going to be talking non-stop for 5 hours, so I don't know whether just to save my throat and film this bit later on in the week, but I am itching to get this bit done. But I don't know, because I am going to go for the half and half, which means the He-Man castle and the carousel is obviously going to move. This will then just go up onto that table. I suppose if I put this onto that table and do it, this can then go back here when I'm doing the review and a comparison, because this box will stay where you are, so it's not going to be in the way when I move it. And then once all that's done, that table can be folded down. I can then move a little bit easier, which is good. So what's going to happen with this next segment is, obviously I'm going live in a few hours, starting off with bag number 72. There should be a bit of a difference, and we will basically see where it's going to go. One of the lives we're also going to do minifigure placement as well, so obviously we'll be putting the minifigures in situ. To do that, obviously it needs to be on the base plates anyway, but we will basically see how many more lives is going to be part of this video diary, which I don't think there's going to be too many. It should be on the shelf. It should be done, unless something goes drastically wrong this evening, and that could be, well, could be famous last words, because I was a bit of a twonk forgetting to plug that back in. Right, so it's going to be tweet. I've done it, and I've still got an hour to go as well. So I'm going to build the rest of this, do the giveaway purchase, which obviously, as we know, is this, and it's done. So it should be fine. Famous last words. But we know that we've got a weak spot on this one side, so it might not be fine. And because I can't see the bottom of the shelf, I don't know when I'm going to hit the roof. So that is one complete Death Star, minus the green thing, up on the roof. I've done a thing, it works, and it is the set that I've been waiting for over 10 years, 2012, was where I wanted this set from, and it happens to be, it is literally to the degree the same angle as the roof for that panel. Now what I might be able to do is now push it over to there. We are done and done. It fits, as you've seen. All the bags are finished, the plaque is done, and that shuttle at the angle is exactly how I'm going to have it. I think that looks great like that, to be honest. Get it nice and close and you can't see anything else. That is not too bad. So that means we can now wrap up the video diary. And of course, every time I start, you are filthy. So keep your eyes peeled with regards to the placement of this actual thing. And of course, keep your eyes peeled for probably a video that's already been uploaded, which will be the comparison video and of course the review video. Tomorrow night's live is just building this, and it'll be going straight in, but there's nothing else to change, there's nothing else to do, there's nothing else to catch up on. So I'm just going to be building this in the next and last live stream, and then we'll basically be messing around with the figures, and then depending on if I can actually get this filmed tomorrow, it's all going to be different bits and pieces. So the next video diary that's going to be coming from behind the scenes of the build will be the Ninjago. Now, completely different problem with that Ninjago set, because whereas this one, not very deep, obviously it's got the width and it's skinny, but it's just tall, and we've had all this shelf problem and everything else like that. That one might be a bit of a pig for laptop placement, my placement with regards to the bags. I think the bags might be a little bit bigger, and it's 2 base plates. So I know this is 3 base plates wide, but it's wide well away, and because it's spun, we're building it that way and putting it on, whereas this thing is going to be 2 base plates in front with all the bits and pieces getting taller. And of course then we've got to move it, because we're going to be moving it about and obviously doing all the little bits and pieces and stuff. So basically all you're going to miss is the last live stream, which is not just going to be a chit chat with regards to just literally plonking this in, and then the next video of the Disaster series will be getting this placed. So just look out for the placement of this, because that set will be in it. We'll be putting the black base plates all across the back, and we'll be making up a form of a diorama. So I hope you've enjoyed this sort of format. I'm going to do 1 or 2 more like this and just wait for people's feedback on it. I know it's long, but at least, you know, you can see just how much work goes in behind the scenes and all the lights. The good thing is that if I'm just going to jump straight into the Ninjago one next, we've done the lights already, so there's no light set preparation or anything like that. It is very much a case of the same problem. The box will be up on here. I've got to try and get this bit tidy, which will be in the Disaster stuff before we go live again, or it'll happen after I go live again, just because of the timing of everything. So yeah, well, we did it, it's on, and I can't believe it fits by literally the skin of its teeth. And these were the bits I was worried about. So this is the last bit that we'll finish on. So we had this big gearing up at the top. Luckily it was right in the middle of the roof, so that wasn't too bad. And this actually has quite a lot of length. So as you'll see, obviously in the actual main video, this bit obviously all opens up, and that opens up quite high, and this bit is in there with the guns which you can angle about, and there's all the bits and pieces that pull out, and then you got this bit now that comes off completely. You got this bit that opens up, not that bit that opens up with the rubber ducky and all that kind of thing. So yeah, there's a lot going on to it. So the review video for this is going to take me a long time to do, and of course it's got to be done on this table, unless I move the table and have it set up this way, which there's potential for, because it might be easier just keeping it there and filming it this way. So that is going to be a future problem and a future pain in the backside. So maybe you'll stick around. Actually, you'll stick around until the live stream's done, because that will then lead in nicely to the bit. Because yes, where am I actually going to do this live the review? Right, so that means I can catch up with you after the next live stream, and also while this has been reviewed. Because thinking out loud, if I am going to try and do something with this tomorrow with regards to a review, and it goes there a few hours later, it'll have to go back here to finish the build for the live. So maybe it has to stay there. Right, I'll catch back up with you either tomorrow or in the next few days. Right, so I've been thinking since the other day when I was saying to you, oh, we've got to do the review, what we're going to do, and I think it's going to stay in the same place. So I don't think we need to drag this out any longer. I think the 8080 can stay here because when I do the comparison, I haven't got any space on this table to do it, so it's going to have to be done on that side anyway. This box is out the way, which is what you're resting on, and of course, as we know, it is all finished. Now we've got one more live to go, which is just getting the giveaway purchase done, and then I will then start to film, obviously, this actual thing as a review video, and then we can carry on. There's no point me filming it as a review video, so probably without it. So what I'll probably do is I'll do the giveaway purchase first, and then do a full review of the other one separately, and just obviously see what it looks like in the hangar with and without the set and all of that kind of thing. If something drastically goes wrong, then I'll cut myself off and obviously add it on. But I don't think, I was thinking where you are now, does it go on this table? And if it spins round, it's going to hit that laser. I'm just going to, the only thing I can physically do is pull the other light around, so we've got light going either way, and then just have the camera set up on the other side of the table, yada yada yada, turn around and face. And it is, in all fairness, where I did do the Avengers Tower versus the Daily Bugle, and that did seem to work okay. So I might have to put one of the lights on a stand, but you will basically see the aftermath of everything in the Star Wars Disaster Series video, because we always pick that up from the second I reviewed it. It goes into the Lego theme park series, where it then gets placed and put into the correct bit. So I think that's going to be quite a long episode as well, a bit like this one, because what is to come is that it's going to go up on the shelf with the black base plates. Then this is going to get placed in the correct place. We're then going to put the Tatooine stuff in the right place as well, get the cheese on the floor, or bring the cheese around here, and then get those bits and pieces on the floor, get all the base plates down, so then that's good. And then when they're all in, I can then start to do different size comparison videos of all the other little bits and pieces. But I do want to get this reviewed basically this week, and then depending on the time scale, this video might be a week or two after, because we did the light preparation and all the other little bits and pieces at the start. So this is like almost the second part of the behind the scenes. So for now, I think we're done. Hopefully you've enjoyed this kind of thing. We are going to be doing the same thing again for the Ninjago Rising Dragons, so that's going to be a completely different problem with regards to the width, size, how we're going to be putting the lights and all of that kind of thing. But for now, that's it, and I am done. So if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You'll take care and see you next one.